Hi, I'm Jeremy Watson. I'm a group product manager here at GitLab. Today I'm hiring for a senior product manager for the analytics group here at GitLab. And so I wanted to shoot a quick video to tell you a little bit about the role, the group that you'll be working on, why it's important to GitLab's vision and direction, and then finally a little bit of information about what I'll be looking for. So I'll go ahead and share my screen quickly and we'll talk through this. So first off, let's talk a little bit about the role. What does product management look like at GitLab? Well, you can take a look at kind of the requirements for this role that's already in the job description, but ultimately you're leading our vision for the group. And at GitLab, we think of groups as these kind of cross-functional groups that I'll talk a little bit about a little bit later on. But you're essentially in the driver's seat in defining the vision, where we choose to invest in that area of our product, and making decisions about how we prioritize. So you'll be driving the product in this right direction that you'll play a part in, a central part in shaping, and shape new improvements for it with your engineering team and your stable counterparts, prioritize them, and ultimately get them shipped into the hands of our customers. So you can learn more about the product management role at GitLab here. And this deck is full of links to our handbook here at GitLab, which is our fully transparent kind of single source of truth in terms of our processes, our requirements, how we operate as a company, which you're free to contribute to. It's all fully transparent and there for your information. So what is manage and what does analytics mean in this context? Well, we think about the DevOps lifecycle here at GitLab in terms of 10 different stages. And really, whether or not you're using GitLab for all of these, or you're using a fragmented tool chain for different parts, you're essentially accomplishing this if you are quote unquote doing DevOps, where you're starting from a central project management tool and you're planning new ideas all the way through development and deploying them to production and monitoring them in production. And so manage is one of these stages, and it sits at the top of, on top of kind of the entire life cycle in support of it. So if you click it, if you look here, you can also click into the second link and read a little bit about manage as a stage and kind of the mission around delighting the business, especially kind of like large organizations, and making sure that we're supporting them with these kind of foundational features like authentication, like security, like auditing. But I think the second theme is really important for the analytics group, which is all about working more efficiently. And what we find is, like, as an organization grows and grows and grows to where you're supporting thousands and thousands of developers, it becomes really hard to understand kind of where the bottlenecks are and how you can kind of improve your software development lifecycle. So that's one of the central themes for Manage, which is, hey, we want to be able to give these large instances that grow in complexity, new and powerful ways of working, to help you automate away some of the operational complexity, and then to give you an advantage and superpowers in GitLab that you really can't get from a more fragmented tool chain. And so that's where analytics, I think, is really important, where you have this very complicated software development lifecycle, and we want to be able to provide visibility into that end-to-end process and find and highlight areas where you're wasting time or where certain groups are excelling and then other groups in your company can really benefit from some of those practices. So that's why we think that analytics is a really important part about GitLab, because we have this strategy that all of these aspects of how you build software belong in a single application, and it becomes harder and harder at scale to be able to manage that entire process. So that's where we think analytics tools have a ton of potential in GitLab to make life easy and to give these large instances new and efficient ways of working. So that's what this group is really all about. It's about finding those bottlenecks in your software development lifecycle. And we try to explore this with features like code review analytics, for instance, which is a analytics kind of tool that helps you kind of sort merge requests that are pending merging, that are currently work in progress, and finds the ones that are still sitting in review, so that you can find which ones they are, which are lagging behind, unblock them, maybe by getting other developers involved, or maybe by breaking them down into more atomic merge requests, but helping kind of you find better ways and more efficient ways of building software, I think, is a central theme. And I think, again, like, showcasing that end-to-end value stream for the benefits of different personas is a hugely important aspect of the group's mission as well. We have a feature called Value Stream Analytics that this group will work on that kind of seeks to kind of provide that like end-to-end kind of perspective where we're showing like lead time and cycle time. But I think there's a ton of different of opportunities here to make this better. So really, that's kind of what this group is all about. And we're really focused on these three personas: executives, engineering managers, and product managers, and helping them find ways of working more efficiently in GitLab. The group itself, looking past the mission, it's a cross-functional group of 3 backend engineers, 3 front-end engineers, 2 engineering managers, and what we call stable counterparts at GitLab, which are your partners in design, product marketing, application security, and so forth. And it's important to note, though, that this is not an internally facing role. This is not a data analytics role. This is not application performance management. This is really about driving efficiency of the software teams that are using GitLab and helping them find better ways of working that they can't find anywhere else. Now, lastly, who am I looking for? I think first and foremost, I'm looking for someone who's a values fit here at GitLab. GitLab has very strong values, and you can take a look at some of those kind of on our values page here that's linked. I think the ones that are especially worth calling out are really iteration, which is something that we do at GitLab, I think, particularly well, which is get the smallest thing out as quickly as possible. And this results in us being able to pivot quickly when customers provide us with feedback that we're going in the wrong direction. And also, it reduces our cycle time. We have these very short iterations we're able to ship quickly. But I think that it's a challenge for some folks to be able to thrive under that kind of environment where we're constantly iterating. We're shipping very small changes. And especially this theme around low level of shame where, if you ship something, if you're doing it right, you should feel a small amount of shame that you didn't have the time to polish it and you're getting in the hands of customers before you're truly proud of it. And that's an uncomfortable feeling for some product managers. So take a look at our values page. All of these 6 values are particularly important to me. I'll especially highlight iteration, collaboration, transparency, and diversity, inclusion, and belonging as being particularly important to me. Great communication, I think, is a big one. Here at GitLab, we have an asynchronous kind of biased culture because we're fully remote and we love working that way. And in order to be effective, we have to be effective communicators, both in the way that we speak, but also the way that we write. We have to write with kind of crisp, concise prose that allows others to easily understand what we're doing. They don't, because they might not have an opportunity to have a live conversation with us until 24, 48 hours later. So when they wake up in the morning and they read what we've written, they need to be able to grok it easily and be able to be productive without us kind of resorting to synchronous conversation. Autonomous, ambitious. We want to be able to set like an ambitious roadmap for what we want to accomplish here in analytics. And we should have knowledge and opinions on developer tooling because one of our key personas that we're building for is kind of the engineer, the engineering manager, understanding how the engineering process can be improved. We need to be able to understand, how that works, have opinions and knowledge around DevOps in order for us to be able to ship effective tools and capabilities that help people work better. I'd love to see a track record of advancing a product roadmap that led to some great customer result. We tend to, definitely favor candidates that come from product companies as opposed to agencies. And I think that's because, it requires a level of ownership that you just don't get anywhere else. If you own a product and you have a key customer that you're trying to delight, and you have many iterations in a long period of time in order to advance your goals and find and drive customer results. I'd love to see kind of some stories there and some background there. Direct experience in analytics in these areas is like really ideal. It's not required though. When I say these areas, I'm talking about business intelligence, machine learning, developer tooling specifically but with a bias towards analytics and efficiency. These are all great. I would love to see candidates with direct experience and kind of the themes that I've talked about. It's not required though. And I think lastly, and most importantly, really, is a willingness to work with me. So I've also linked my README here, which kind of talks a little bit about my background, how I like to work, and some of my biases. And if you feel like, you have the opportunity, you would like to work with me, I'd love to see your application. So I'm going to switch off screen share, and I just wanted to say thanks a lot for taking a look. Thanks a lot for entertaining GitLab as kind of your next career stop, and look forward to reading your application. And do note that like every application and cover letter I'll be reading. So, please don't think that, oh, I won't spend time on the cover letter because I'm not confident that I'll read it. I'll read every application, I'll read every cover letter, and I'll do my best to provide personalized feedback if I can. So thanks a lot again. I really appreciate you. Cheers.